Good afternoon, everyone. I am Estela Mata.
And I am Juana Mata. We're the Mata sisters from Looms for Lupus, needing a community of hope.
Yes, and welcome to the inaugural Conversations with the Mata Sisters. This is the English version of the Plática con las Hermanas Mata, which is a live chat that we host every second Saturday of the month in Spanish via our Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, and X, or formerly known as Twitter. This engaging program is really just a live conversation that you will have with us, the Mata Sisters. Yes, this is a space that we have provided for us to discuss different topics related to autoimmune diseases, related to lupus, related to mental health and family, and just so many other things that may just come up or that we're dealing with, right? And so I'm just excited to be here because, again, this is our inaugural Conversations with the Mata Sisters. And if this is the first time that you are watching or that you are tuning in to any one of our channels, thank you for tuning in. Both Juana, my sister, and I are healthcare advocates. We started our advocacy advocating for lupus when Juana was diagnosed with lupus in 2009. Our mission really with Looms for Lupus, which is a nonprofit organization that we founded in 2012, our mission is to eliminate lupus and overlapping conditions related to health disparities among racial and ethnic minority populations like the Hispanic Latino community. Because lupus affects our BIPOC communities, we want to make sure that we're all seen and heard. And we do a lot of collaborations with other organizations, grassroots community centers, and just a lot of groups. So we're excited to not just continue providing these services with Looms for Lupus, but we also knew we could do a little bit more. We empower not only those living with lupus or autoimmune conditions or overlapping conditions, but their loved ones and caregivers. So we host monthly support groups, both in English and in Spanish. Not only do we do that, we advocate for those living with these conditions, both here at the local level, at the state level, and also at the federal level. So we're just excited to continue to do our work and to share it with the whole community. We also, another thing that we did is we realized we do a lot more than just lupus and support. We also started our other consulting organization called MAS, or Mata Advocacy and Support, with one of our good friends, Molly. And, there really is, we're just focused on contributing, on helping and raising our voices, right? Right, sister? Just to continue to help what we can. So we're excited for a couple of things. So not only were we able to share a little bit about what we're doing, I want you to feel free to comment, to engage in the conversations. Click on the comment where you're tuning in from. If you have lupus, if you have an autoimmune condition, if you support someone that lives with these conditions, go ahead and put in the comments. This will be an engaging conversations that we're going to have amongst each other. Also, remember, anything that we talk about here, if we talk about treatments, if we talk about, what things that are working for us, I want you to know that it is all great information. However, I do want you to, if there are any treatments or anything, any questions specific to your treatments, that you reach out to your medical provider or your rheumatologist. They're the ones that know you best, and they're the best people to help you navigate through your treatments. So Juana, do you want to share a little bit about what we are going to be talking about today?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for joining us. We're always happy to share and support. And we want to remind everyone out there living with autoimmune conditions, lupus, fibromyalgia, mental health, that they're not alone. We want to remind them that we're here. Looms for Lupus is here to help. If you need help, please reach out to us. Our phone numbers are on our website and on Facebook as well. please reach out. If you're a caregiver living with somebody that has these conditions, please learn, and we'll be more than happy to support you. And yes, Estela, we are going to be talking about some things that are very, very important. So I am going to share what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to be talking about stats and insights. We'll explore eye-opening statistics on autoimmune diseases, their impact on women, and the unique challenges we face by BIPOC communities face. We'll also discuss the intersection of race, ethnicity, and autoimmune health outcomes. We will also be talking about the insightful article entitled Women and Autoimmune Diseases, published by Stanford Medicine in February 2024. And we will also watch a video, and it's amazing. You'll see it. We will shine the light on new things that are coming up. And finally, we will also share about what Looms for Lupus has been doing by raising awareness, advocating, and supporting those living with autoimmune conditions and their care partner families. So we're excited to be here again. And please interact, ask questions. We'll be more than happy to answer. If we don't have the answer, we will reach out back with information or resources.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Juana. One of the things that I want you to know is that, within our community, we don't always have time. And we never know when is the best time for you to get the information. But the one thing that I do know that we want to do is bring you the information, because I know how overwhelming it could be to not only live with a chronic or autoimmune condition, but also to gather information. Who has the time to be looking for or researching more information, right? So we want to bring the information to you. We want you to feel empowered, and we want you to feel connected. We want you to know that you are not alone in this. So one of the things that I love about these virtual lives or this live educational, pláticas or conversations with the Mata sisters, is the fact that this recording stays recorded on our YouTube channels and our social media platforms. They are going to be here for you to tune in whenever you get a chance. So again, if you're tuning in, please write in the comments, say hello, tell us where you're tuning in from. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to provide a couple of new groundbreaking things, and also talking about, March, right? March is Autoimmune Awareness Month, but I know that, living with this condition, it doesn't just impact us in the month of March. It impacts us throughout the year. So just recently, I was diagnosed with also an autoimmune disease. And as you all know, Juana has been living with these autoimmune diseases. So I do encourage you to, let us know how we can help you navigate your care. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So what is an autoimmune disease, right? So according to the CDC, autoimmune diseases occurs when the immune system mistakenly targets and attacks the healthy parts of your body instead of protecting them. So picture, your organs, your healthy tissues. Your systems are supposed to prevent or make you feel better. And what they do is they get confused, and instead they start attacking itself. That is why it's called autoimmune, or as Juana gives a good description with the soldiers. You want to just share about how you talk about what an autoimmune disease is? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. What I usually say is that an autoimmune condition is like, okay, so we have the soldiers, that protect our country. We have the soldiers protecting our country, and imagine if the soldiers turn around and start attacking, their own. So that's pretty much how I explain it to the little ones, when we're talking about it. That means that our own body, our own immune system turns around and it starts attacking our own healthy cells. And that meaning it could attack any major organ, heart, kidneys, any major organ. So unfortunately, that's what it does. And that's, in very short, that's how I explain it to the little ones when I start talking to them and sharing, what an autoimmune condition is.
Yeah, so picture friendly fire, right? Your
Right.
own team attacking itself. So there are over 100 known autoimmune conditions and approximately 50 million Americans that have autoimmune diseases. Now, some examples of these autoimmune diseases are lupus, right? Juana has lupus. There are some FDA approved treatments for some of these conditions, but not all of them have a lot of options for patients like us. So rheumatoid arthritis, that's another autoimmune condition. Sjogren's, I actually said it right this time. I always have a hard time saying it, but Sjogren's as well. Those are a couple of autoimmune diseases, examples that I could give you. There's another one also that comes in mind, which I didn't list here, is diabetes 1. And diabetes 1 is usually also, impacting not only children, but women and men. So it's just very important to highlight this. Now, as I go to my next slide, one of the things that I want to highlight with autoimmune diseases, and I know, and we've been talking about this and we hear it more often now, is that women are disproportionately more impacted by autoimmune diseases, right? And that's one of the things that we've been talking about, especially right now during the month of March, right? During the month of March, we celebrate women. It's Women's History Month. We celebrate women. We're empowering women. But also, we're also highlighting the autoimmune diseases and how they impact our women. And yes, I'm going to show you a video. One of the things that I came across was a video with Lisa Kim and Dr. Howard Chang, and he's a professor of dermatology and genetics, and he's going to talk about a research study that was conducted in Stanford, where they talk about a study that they did to see why most women, or why more women than men, are impacted by autoimmune diseases. Again, very important to highlight that autoimmune diseases across the board impact everyone: children, young adults, men, and women. But what I'm talking about here is that women are at a greater risk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully try to show you the video without interruption. So we'll see if this works. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let me try and share my screen, because this video I couldn't download. So let me know if you can see the video. And here we go.
Women than men suffer from autoimmune diseases like lupus. And for a long time, it's been a mystery as to why. Now, Stanford researchers have a definitive clue.
We were really interested in this big question of why women are much more likely to get autoimmune diseases than men. This research says that the risk for autoimmune disease comes from your gene. Do something wrong? No, right? It's not something you can control. And so this is a basic scientific question, but we hope that could pave the way for new therapeutics and diagnostics in the future. And so maybe that's why there's so much resonance with the public.
What was involved in the study? What did you find out?
In the past, people wondered whether it was because women have more estrogen, men more testosterone. Other thoughts was about different sex chromosome counts. Women, 2 X chromosomes, men, X and a Y. But our research found that it was actually a single RNA coming from the second X chromosome that was the most important. So that was a surprising answer. The body has a system to deal with the fact that the 2 X chromosomes has to end up with the same gene output as the male cell. So the system in women is that one of the information, and that is done by this special RNA called EXIST.
What kind of autoimmune diseases are we talking?
Maybe rheumatoid arthritis. MS also has a pronounced sex bias.
Where do you go from here, knowing the findings of this research?
There are some important steps between this RNA and the immune system going haywire. So understanding those steps might lead to new therapies in the future. This was a labor of love. We've been working on this project for actually over 6 years. It's really exciting that it actually panned out, and I'm in the lab actually pursue some
Crazy other benefits.
Were you able to hear it, to watch the video? Yes, one of the things when I watch this video, and this is, again, I'm reading so many things that are going on, so many things that are happening in the autoimmune space. And when I came across this video, I thought, this is amazing. Who knows who else will be researching and looking at this. So I wanted to share this with you all. And I will also put in a link to that video so you guys can watch it later on. But I hope that video shines a little bit of light as to why women are mostly impacted or more impacted by autoimmune diseases, and why women are at greater risk. And as you heard, it has to do with that RNA. So it's just, shining a little bit more light on the things that we need to know. And, one of the things that, and I know Juana always says this, and I know I always try to empower those, when you are first diagnosed with a condition, we recommend that you find out what this condition is, what it will do to you, what can happen, what can you expect, and how can you continue to thrive or live with this autoimmune condition. Most of these conditions have so many unique things to it. And not only that, and we know with lupus, right, Juana, there are no two people alike with lupus. So the type of issues that you will have, I mean, there's could be a list of things that you could, kind of prepare yourself for. But like with anything else in life, you will be given different things to juggle. So most importantly, don't give up, educate yourself and empower yourself with the information that you need so you can continue to live. Because remember, living with these conditions, this is just a chapter of your life. It is not your whole life. And that is why I put all this together so I can bring it to you and you don't have to waste that time or energy to go and gather this information.
Correct, Estela. So yes, absolutely. Like you're saying, when we're newly diagnosed, it's so overwhelming. I mean, there's going to be moments that you don't know what's going to happen to you the following day. So it is important not only to learn about the condition, learn about your body, understand, for example, you need to know what your normal temperature is, your normal heart rate, and things like that. So it's important that you know that, but you also need to get connected with somebody. Support groups are very, very good because you're going to not only learn, but you're also going to share how you're feeling. So it's important for you to do that. And of course, it will be overwhelming and your family is going to be suffering with you as well. So it's important for you and your family to get connected, and just remember, you're not alone. There's help out there. So please reach out.
Yes. And again, not only do we want you to feel empowered by learning about these autoimmune diseases and the impact it can have on your life or what you need to prepare for, but also treatments. You want to know what treatments are FDA approved for your specific disease, and you want to have these discussions with your providers. And one of the things that a lot of these autoimmune diseases have in common are called flares. Flares is when your autoimmune disease is active, or if you're thinking about the soldiers when they're actually, firing, against the other soldiers. So one of the things that, we're excited about is that, we advocate not just for research for better treatments, but we also advocate for innovative solutions on what we can bring to the community. And one of the things that is just breaking news, this was just, there was a press release, I believe on the 27th, which is 2 days ago. So this is hot off the press. So for those people that live with lupus, there is an innovative lab test specifically for lupus that is going to be accessible to you soon, or actually right now in some states. So I just want to highlight here, there is a press release, and I'll tell you what it's about. So it is it's called Lugene, and it is a lupus test that has been launched to predict flares and drug targets. And it has been created by Ample Biosolutions. And this blood test will forecast patient flares. And also, not only will it do that, it will also help a lot of the patients with, not only are you going to get predicted, you're going to be getting these predictions on flares before they happen, but there's also going to be a lot that you can do to help prevent irreversible damage. And you can do this along with your doctor. So what I'm going to do, and I'm so excited, I don't know if you can see the excitement in me, but I know this is groundbreaking and this is an amazing thing for our community. So I'm going to show you, because I'm not going to read this whole press release. I will share it on social media. I will also put the link, but I'm going to show you a video of that right now. So get ready. So we're going to, this is like almost,
it's a chronic disease
here we go.
that can cause pain and inflammation in any part of your body. It can impact the kidneys, heart, liver.
So let me start it all over. So what is lupus? It's going to first talk about what is lupus, and then it will talk about the innovation of this Lugene.
Lupus. It's a chronic disease that can cause pain and inflammation in any part of your body. It can impact the kidneys, heart, liver, and joints. There's also no cure. About 1.5 million Americans have lupus, and rates are increasing, according to the Mayo Clinic. Perhaps the most famous face of lupus, Selena Gomez, made headlines a few years ago after she underwent a kidney transplant as the result of the disease. The actress and singer revealed her battle with lupus back in 2015 at just 23 years old. She says a transplant was something she needed to do for her overall health. Research has shown lupus affects women at a much higher rate than men and has proven to be quite difficult to treat. The good news? We're one step closer to managing the disease. Scientist Anne-Marie Grammer and her team at Ample Biosolutions are making significant progress in the fight against lupus.
Grammer gave us exclusive details about a new blood test called Lugene. She says the test can identify when lupus is under control, foresee flare-ups, and recognize targets for effective drug options based on genomic data.
She says this is significant because research shows more than 95% of people with lupus have at least one flare-up a year, and 2/3 have multiple flare-ups. Her team calls this test a game changer that will significantly improve lives.
Ample's Lugene blood test technology can predict those flares before they happen, and also can predict what's abnormal so that physicians and patients can discuss therapeutic options.
Right now, the test is only available through studies at Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles and arthritis and osteoporosis consultants of the Carolinas in Charlotte, North Carolina. But Grammer says they're working to expand access. She says studies will soon be available at other high-profile sites like Duke, Yale, and Case Western Reserve universities, as well as both the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic.
The goal is to put it in the hands of physicians and patients across all aspects of life across the United States for lupus patients.
You can read more about the Lugene blood test and the team's progress in lupus management on amplebiosolutions.com. Scan the QR code on your screen to get there.
And I'm going to leave that QR code so you can get all the information that you need. But, I do have to say, I am super excited about this amazing, innovative lab test for lupus. Can you imagine having a lab test where you can, people with lupus go to the lab all the time, right, Juana? You're always going to get your lab, your blood drawn. Why not know that you're going to get this lab done that is going to predict if you are going to be having a flare? Now, as you heard, like most patients with autoimmune diseases will have flares. And, and when the flare is happening is when the damage is occurring. And I think this is groundbreaking. So I'm excited. Aren't you excited?
Absolutely, Estela. When I first heard about the test, it was like, okay, this is what we were waiting for. Of course, we would love to have a cure, but for now, a test that will predict that flare, it's amazing. Why? Because again, a flare could mean something more than just pain. It could be something more critical. So yeah, definitely, if together the patients with the doctors come together and, plan a care, or if you're going through a flare, or if you're going to have a flare, then you can plan with your doctor and be treated before that flare causes damage.
Yes, definitely. And these innovative, things and treatments, or something that can help you with your treatment and your care is, like I said, it's amazing. If you live in LA, there's actually a study happening at Cedars-Sinai here in Los Angeles. So if you are in LA, this is already available. You can connect with us and we can connect you of where it's happening. Also, the Arthritis and Osteoporosis Consultants of the Carolinas, and this is in North Carolina. So if you have lupus and live in North Carolina, there's a go-to, there's a place for you to get this study. This is happening. And if you are in Los Angeles, California, there's also a study happening at Cedars-Sinai. So we're very, very excited. Again, thank you, Amory, and Dr. Amory, and also all the scientists behind this at Ample that have been working so hard to come up with such an amazing, innovative lab test that we can use. And maybe this is the beginning of something greater for all autoimmune diseases. So again, I applaud both Dr. Amory and Dr. Peter Lipsky from Ample and all of the Ample team. So shout out to them. So next, we talked about the study that's happening here in Cedars for this innovative lab test, but I'm also going to highlight and talk about new innovative therapies that are happening with in the lupus community. So we, in November, when we were at the American College of Rheumatology, where we hosted a booth and we brought on other nonprofit organizations in the lupus community, patient-driven nonprofit organizations. We had, Emmett from Male Lupus Warriors, so shout out to him. We had Brianna from L for Lupus. We had Kelly from More Than Lupus, and our amazing We Win Foundation organization, along with a huge advocate in the lupus community, Miss Molly McCabe. So, very, very it was a very amazing time to be there, because one of the things that was talked about during the the rheumatology conference, the annual rheumatology conference in November, was CAR T cell therapies, groundbreaking therapies for lupus. And just recently, we met with Caverna Therapeutics. They are committed to advancing CAR T cell therapies that can change the treatment paradigm for autoimmune diseases. And we are going to have Caverna Therapeutics actually host a virtual symposium where they're going to be talking about what is up in the pipeline with this CAR T cell therapy, where they're hosting these, how you can sign up for these trials, what clinical trials are, and how you can be part of this groundbreaking CAR T cell therapy. For those of you that don't know, basically, in plain English, I'm just going to say this is where they basically take out some T cells. They kind of, do some work with it, if you will, and then put it back into your body so it can help, fight these autoimmune diseases. So more specific details around this innovative therapy, CAR T cell therapy, and also more information about how you can be part of the Caverna trials. So I'm going to go to the next slide. I want to give a huge shout out to a lot of I know there's a lot of people and a lot of organizations working so hard for, not just advocating for better treatments for lupus or for autoimmune diseases in general, but also advocating for better healthcare access across the board, for supporting the community, for bringing educational symposiums, and just, bringing all the information to the patients where it is needed. So huge shout out to Aurinia Pharmaceuticals. They are a biopharmaceutical company where they are focused in autoimmune diseases. More specifically, we work with them as an extension of the Aurinia team to help educate and empower those living with lupus, and also educating the caregivers and the community as a whole, and bring to light that lupus nephritis impacts 1 out of 2 people that live with lupus. So what we are doing is just empowering patients to learn more about how to take care of their bodies, to track their symptoms. And Juana was just at the Lupus Foundation of Northern California Gala, right, Juana? And you shared your story and insights about the Get Uncomfortable campaign.
Correct.
Yes. And it was really great because, these patient stories, are very meaningful and help you connect with others that know that they're not alone, that they're not the only ones dealing with this. And the most important key thing that I will leave you with Aurinia, about Aurinia Pharmaceuticals, is that they have been so supportive with helping us bring a lot of information to our communities. And I commend them for that. So thank you, Aurinia Pharmaceuticals, for all that you do for the autoimmune disease community. And then also a huge shout out to Danny Martinez. He is our go-to person. But another organization that I want to highlight for the dedication and making a difference in the autoimmune disease community is the Autoimmune Disease Association. So shout out to everyone that works with the Autoimmune Association. They are the world's leading nonprofit dedicated for autoimmune disease awareness, education, advocacy, and research. And we are proud to say that we work alongside all these amazing organizations, and just want to continue to shine the light on them and applaud them for the work that they're doing. Just recently, Autoimmune Diseases Association's board member and patient advocate Lily Stairs was talking about, and I think it was yesterday, where she talked about sharing her story about gaslighting, about, gaslighting really is a term that you use when you go to the doctor and you tell them everything that's happening to you, and they basically tell you it's all in your head and they don't believe you, which is something that happened to Juana. So Lily, shout out to you for sharing your story, for raising awareness about autoimmune conditions, and also for shining a light on the impact that gaslighting has on an individual. Juana experienced gaslighting. She told the doctors that you were sick, and they basically just dismissed you. And no one should be dismissed.
Right. And a lot of the times you don't think that, okay, being dismissed is going to affect you in one way or another, but it does. one of the things is that how it affects some people, it affected me. It's like, okay, why even go if I'm gonna get the same answer? I am gonna be told you're okay, go home. It's in your head, and in reality, I can share with you that the day I was diagnosed, I was critically ill, yet I was still dismissed. But one of the reasons we talk about self-advocacy is because we know the importance. If I had left that day, the day I was again dismissed, I would not be here talking to you. Why? Because I was sent home with an anxiety diagnosis, but I refused to go. I always say, we have to respect the doctors, but we know when something is not right. And I knew that day I couldn't just go home. I knew something was really wrong. And because of my persistence, I am here today. I was admitted to ICU for 7 days after I was told, you can go home. We will call you tomorrow.
Yes, and if she would have gone home that night, her platelets were at 2 or 2,000, she would have died. And, we wouldn't be having these conversations. So self-advocacy is huge. And that's why I'm so happy that, Lily Stairs, a patient advocate, who is a huge patient advocate, by the way, she's like a leader in women. We are part of her Chronic Boss Collective. We are part of, she also launched like the Patient Authentic. She's a huge advocate, and I believe she's also a board member of autoimmune diseases. So again, shout out to Lily and to all of the patients like Juana that share their story to help empower other women and others to share their story, to make a change, to empower others to utilize their voice. Another organization that is very dedicated to making a difference here in California and at the federal level as well is California Chronic Care Coalition. The California Chronic Care Coalition is a unique alliance of 30 leading consumer health organizations, which includes some physician and provider groups. And, I'm also proud to say that Looms for Lupus has been part of this coalition and continues to work alongside another amazing patient advocate, Liz Helms, who is the founder of California Chronic Care Coalition. And, just recently we were at the California Policy Alliance, California Chronic Policy Alliance, which is an alliance that focuses more on policy for and also kind of an extension of the 4Cs, as we will. So we're excited to continue to work with them. They're doing so much great, amazing work for not just autoimmune diseases, but chronic conditions overall. And I hope my voice doesn't go away. I tend to talk a lot and I get so excited. So give me a second. Let me just moisturize my throat here a little bit. I know I had to get my water. They're not promoting this. By the way, one of the things that I love to share with everyone is a lot of these symposiums, these virtual symposiums that we do, that we bring to you, most of them are funded by Looms for Lupus. So if you know someone that wants to donate to a nonprofit, any one of these organizations will accept your funds, but we will as well. We want to bring you more information. Another organization that I want to highlight or give a shout out to is Lupus Research Alliance. They are the world's leading private funder of lupus research. Why is this even relevant? I'll tell you. The CAR T cell therapy and the reason why a lot of the treatments and a lot of the research happens is because of this organization utilizes every dollar that is donated to them for lupus research. They are the only, and I'll emphasize that again, they are the only national nonprofit organization in the lupus space that utilizes 100% of their donations to lupus. So if you're going to invest $1 somewhere for lupus research, that's your go-to. So just wanted to kind of plug that in also, because a lot of times, and again, I'm just sharing this because we don't all know everything, right? I learned something new every day. When I learned about, if I'm going to give a donation to someone, I want to know where my dollar is being utilized and where it's being spent. I am being transparent with you and telling you, if we get donations, which we haven't really gotten a lot, it goes back to the community. Juana and I don't pay ourselves to do this. We do this because this is our purpose, because, we turned our passion about giving back to the community in this way. And Lupus Research Alliance is very dedicated to doing that. So we're very excited and to shine the light on them. Also, Society for Women's Health Research, another amazing national nonprofit organization dedicated to improving women's health through science, policy, and education. We work with them and we love Society of Women's Health Research. They're an amazing group of amazing women that we work with there. And one of the things that I have to highlight is that they are focused on bringing the information and advocating for women's health research and education. And we were part of an amazing, again, groundbreaking thing that they created a few years ago, which is the Lupus Toolkit. This is the first lupus toolkit out there for all rheumatologists and anyone, patients, providers, physicians, to utilize as a guide for lupus. So if you have not gotten it, go to our website and we have that link. And Juana and I, and also another amazing comedian advocate, amazing woman, shout out to Ayana Dookie, which I'm going to have to show her this video. She's on vacation right now, but she was the other patient that was part of the creation of this amazing lupus toolkit that the Society for Women's Health Research created, amongst other amazing rheumatologists, Dr. Blanco, and I can't remember all the doctors, but I just shared a shout out to them a couple of days ago on Instagram. I can't remember them all. I'm having mental fog right now. But anyway, so shout out to Arena Pharmaceuticals, Autoimmune Diseases Association, California Chronic Care Coalition, Lupus Research Alliance, Society for Women's Health Research, and all the amazing advocates that I mentioned. There's a lot of work to do, and we are proud to say that Looms for Lupus continues to work with everyone, with all organizations that want to partner with us. We are here. That's what we are here for. We are here to work together because in community, there is that hidden word, unity. Also, another highlight that I want to give out to and shout out to the Barragan sisters, or to Alondras, may she rest in peace, to her sisters for allowing us to create this amazing scholarship for, it's a scholarship fund that we created, we launched last year. And this year, we announced, I believe it was the beginning of the year, we announced that the Alondra Barragan Scholarship Fund is really an initiative that we came up with to support patients that live with lupus and are pursuing their education and their academic goals. So we want to support the lupus patients or any lupus patient that is going to school. So this scholarship fund was created in honor of Alondra Barragan. She was a beautiful, intelligent, loving, and caring young lady. And I'm trying not to get emotional, so that's why I'm breathing. I'm trying to breathe.
It is very difficult for us. We were very close to Alondra. We learned to be close to her while she was in our support groups. And it's painful to see that, a lot of the times lupus can take a life. And she was a young girl. And it's just very difficult. And in her honor, we're excited to do what we're doing. And, I can't say enough other than, we need the help. We need the support and all the research because, we don't want to lose any more lives.
Yes, and one of the things, that we loved about Alondra and is that, when she came to our support group, she came with her sisters. So it was like an automatic bond with the sisters, right? One of her sisters has lupus, and, shout out to Alma for also sharing her story, having the courage to share her story, and also for, connecting with us and continuing to support us despite of Alondra living with lupus and who knows other, issues that came about that from lupus. But she was always so passionate about continuing her education. She, wanted to continue to pursue her dreams. She wanted to be a preschool teacher. And, then later on, she wanted to help the kids more. And she wanted, to help them with their speech. And she wanted to be a speech and language pathologist. So her life was cut short. And we want to honor her, and we want to help other young women that live with lupus and give them hope. And the scholarships are open now. The entries are open, so you can apply now. And there's a deadline. The deadline is April 15th. So submit your essays. Whoever is going to be awarded, we have like a committee of people, and some of which are Alondra's sisters that are going to be reviewing and be judging on who is going to be given this scholarship. So this scholarship is going to be awarded during our 4th annual Wellness Day event. It is going to be happening in the city of Baldwin Park. So if you want to know more information about the scholarship, how you can apply if you qualify, go to Looms for Lupus under services and resources and scroll all the way to the bottom because all the information is there. But if you can't find it and need information, you could email us at info@loomsforlupus.org or simply call us 626-310-9002. We are here for you. And again, may Alondra continue living through every single person that knew her. So we're going to go to the next thing. And as I shared with you, the Alondra Barragan scholarship awardee is going to be awarded the scholarship during the 4th annual Wellness Day. And I have to say, this I cannot believe is happening. This is the 4th year that Looms for Lupus has been providing an annual free Lupus Wellness Day in honor of Lupus, Fibromyalgia, and Mental Health Awareness Month. I remember when we first started in 2012, many people used to laugh at us and say, "Oh, you guys knit during your support group? Who wants to knit?" Loom knitting was a form of art therapy that Juana started when she was first diagnosed with lupus to help her with her mental health. Because living with a chronic and autoimmune condition impacts not just our physical body, but also our mental health. And I want you to keep that in mind. In 2012, we decided to incorporate loom knitting as a form of art therapy. And we also wanted to empower, educate, and include workshops to help those living with these conditions and their loved ones on different modalities that they can utilize to help their overall wellness. And for many years, people laughed, "Oh, you do support groups with loom knitting? We don't want to loom knit. Why do you talk about breathing techniques? Why do you talk about mindfulness? Why do you talk about meditation? Who cares about, your diet? Who cares about exercise?" And people shut us down so much. And we had zero funding the first year that we did the Wellness Day. And we worked so hard and we said, you know what? Despite of what everyone is saying, despite of the pandemic, now more than ever, we are going to shine the light on wellness. And I'm proud to say that we were innovative. We never gave up. And this is now going to be our 4th annual wellness day that is dedicated to those living with these autoimmune conditions. They are completely free. They don't cost anything to the patients or their families. And we have been so grateful to all the people that have believed in us, that continue to support us, and that have now been able to fund some of these amazing events that we host. And, again, I get a little emotional because I want you to take one thing away. What you are doing today, you sharing your story, you doing something that you believe in, don't let anyone dim that light or dim that from you or take it from you. We may not be a big organization that has millions, or that can show off that has millions in the bank. We don't have millions in the bank, but we have a lot of love to give, and we will continue to give as much as we can. During our wellness day, we are going to talk about wellness. We are going to connect with each other. We are going to empower one another. We're going to have free food. We're going to have a light breakfast in the morning. We're going to have lunch. We're going to have free giveaways. We're going to have amazing workshops on nutrition. We are going to have toolkits. We are going to have experts that are going to be talking about disease management. And we're also going to be giving you the latest on lupus and fibromyalgia. And a huge shout out to Dr. Sammy Matias from Cavina Arthritis Clinic. He, every single year, has been our number one supporter and is the rheumatologist that has not said no to helping us. Save the date, and the registration is coming soon. Join us on Saturday, May 11th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are going to be hosting our 4th annual Wellness Day in honor of Lupus, Fibromyalgia, and Mental Health Awareness Month at the Art Community Center in the city of Baldwin Park. Thank you to the city of Baldwin Park, to the mayor and council members that have been so supportive with our community, with all of the events that we are hosting. Shout out to April and to the amazing team that has supported us throughout this time. It's so amazing to be able to share this with everyone. We have, our amazing Assemblywoman Rubio, our state Senator Susan Rubio, our Congresswoman Napolitano, and also Hilda Solis. I mean, we've had so many legislators support us. They believe in what we're doing. And I believe in what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing, right, Juana?
Of course, absolutely, yes.
And we know that we will continue to do this as much as we can. So save the date, May 11th. So if you have, I know it's like Mother's Day weekend, but if you have, a mom that wants to come and join you, bring them. If you have a neighbor, bring them. Again, this is, you need to register. We are going to be hosting it in person and virtually. But the virtual sessions are only going to be the main stage session. We are not going to do the breakout sessions virtually. It was just a little too difficult to maintain and to keep it up. A lot of moving parts. And like I said, we do this with very limited funding. So we will bring the presentations from the providers or the main stage speakers. That's going to be virtual and also obviously in person. So registration coming up soon. Look out for it, register, and we hope to see you there. And, to end the hour, I want you to continue to celebrate each other. You know, this month of March is Women's History Month. Women's, International Month Day. Let's support one another, not just the month of March. Let's support each other every day. So I came up with this quote because, I love quotes. I know people like to quote other people. I just create my own because I'm like, you know what? Let me just make this happen. This is what inspired me. I want you to continue to celebrate women, not just in March, but every day. So let's lift each other up and be the best cheerleaders that we can be for each other. And I'll tell you why I came up with this, because I was like, we need to continue talking about autoimmune diseases. We need to continue to talk about how much it impacts women. We need to continue to empower each other. And yesterday, shout out to Barbie Engel. She is a cheerleader of hope. And I was talking to her, and that's what inspired me to put here cheerleaders, because we really are cheerleaders of hope. So shout out to Ken and Barbie. And yes, they're real. They exist. Not the Barbie movie. They're the real Ken and Barbie. So shout out to her. And, she told me yesterday, sometimes we can't make the change from where we're at. So we need to go above and beyond. And she is running for to be a legislator over in Arizona. So shout out to Barbie for not giving up and always being a cheerleader for hope. And if people tell you you can't do it, you just have to do it alone, and you have to continue. I also want you to continue to raise awareness on autoimmune diseases, to empower each other with more knowledge, to advocate for more research and better treatments. And I will leave you with that. You are not alone. We are here for you. And it just, again, this is our first inaugural conversations with the Mata sisters. And we want to encourage you to follow us. Follow Looms for Lupus. Follow Mata advocacy and support. We provide support. We provide advocacy. We provide resources. We provide education. We host monthly support groups. These monthly support groups that we host, I will tell you, we are reaching global audience. Yes, global. This little small nonprofit is reaching people globally. People from Japan, people from Australia, people from England, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, everywhere, you name it. But I don't do it for me. I do it for them. And I just, again, want to thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, for learning about autoimmune conditions and the impact that that these conditions have on women and our families. Thank you for joining and learning more innovative therapies in the pipeline that are most importantly, even though March is gone, continue to support one another. We, Looms for Lupus and Mata Advocacy and Support, both Juana and myself, the Mata sisters, will continue to be knitting a community of hope. Thank you.
Have an amazing day and a happy Easter Sunday.